So let me show you guys how to do this on a Mercedes. First you take out this connector. This is all of this is a housing for your wheel speed sensor. First thing you're gonna do is peel back the splash guard. Then you're gonna press in. Where is it? You're gonna press here, and that plastic piece will go inside. You can take the wheel speed sensor out. It's right here, as you can see. Here's your connector. Notice pin 1 and pin 2. You have to be very careful for the orientation. The first wire is red and the other one is blue. So make sure that it goes red to red, blue to blue. Just take a picture of the pins, I'll show you. And then what you do, so just to give you an idea, the orientation is this way. The driver's side, what they do is they bite through the wire, and then you have no wheel speed signal. So what you do next is you're gonna de-pin your connectors, okay? So you're gonna take this out right here. The way you take this out is you just press there, and this whole thing will come right out. There's only one way you can go in because there's a tab, but take a picture before you take the pins out. Then you're gonna take this little tab out. See this little tab? It goes right in here. You'll see it. It clips in. You have to take that out, and then you can just press and pull the connector out. Right here are your actual 2 pins. What you're going to do is strip the ends of these wires, clean them up. Just be very careful because you're going to be reusing them. There's no need to buy new ones. And I'll show you the little connector splice we're going to use in between them. And then we're going to very carefully reassemble all of this together, and you'll be good to go. These are your little insulators. You don't have to use these, but it's great because it prevents water from coming in. So what I'm gonna do is after I'm done, I'm gonna put some epoxy in there so that there's no water intrusion. So then they sell these connectors, they have the solder already in there. So what I'm gonna do is just slide them over, and as you heat this up, I can't film it obviously because I only have 2 hands, but as you heat this up, that solder will melt and it will actually leak in there to provide a somewhat watertight seal. And you'll see in a second after I do that. So here you can see the solder inside has melted. It turns this like white color, and it leaks down in there to provide a somewhat watertight seal. So then what I also do is you slide this back in. There's a clip there and a clip right there, and then just put a little bit of epoxy just to make sure that it never comes out and absolutely no water will get into that area. As you can see, there is no, you can't see that way, but make sure you don't lose this clip, by the way, the little metal clip. And then now we move on to the other side. I'll show you in a second, but basically the concept is the same. So we're gonna use these little, they already have the solder back built in. So it's gonna go over like this, over both wires. And then we're gonna heat this up until it completely starts melting, the solder, and then it'll provide a completely watertight connection point between here and those 2 wires there. We don't have a lot of room to work with, but it is what it is. So there's our first connection made. iPhone quality camera, there you go. You see it's a blue and green wire. This is the front driver side. Front driver side. So it's the blue and the green goes in I believe it's pin 3, which is that further one away from us, the gray wire little connection, and then it goes to the blue and green. All right, so as you could see, our red and green wire is meeting up with the black wire, and our blue and green wire is meeting up with the other wire. So it's as best as I could get it. It's very tight in there. That's as best as I can get it to get that solder to melt, and hopefully, I can't really even, to be honest with you, I can kind of see that they're connected in there, but I'm just hoping. So I'm gonna have to clear the code, drive it, see if the issue is resolved. If not, this whole thing's gonna have to come apart again because the connection probably is not good, but hopefully that won't happen. So now we're gonna put back our connector, this connector right here. You see this right here, this pin? This right here, that's the pin that you press, and then it slides out. Okay, so at this point, before I'm actually going to put epoxy on this connector all over, just so it's nice and tight in there. But before you do that and put everything back together, what you're going to do is double check that your connection is actually good. You're going to go into live data and rotate the rotor by hand, and you should see a signal in the left front. So you see that? See how we have a signal? So that means that the connection worked. You're gonna wanna check each wheel just to confirm before you go for a drive. And then last but not least, you're gonna clear the fault codes. We were getting a C1000 code, which was wheel speed sensor front left wire monitoring, which means there is some sort of problem. Let's see what other fault codes we got here. We have a fault code in the ME. I believe this is for a purge valve. We have a purge, we have a vacuum leak somewhere, I believe, on this car. No fault codes. Why is it? Oh, okay, never mind, I guess we don't. Door control module and audio gateway. Okay, these are I'm not gonna pay attention to today. The most important ones for me is ME, electronic transmission control, ESP, airbag, like all these. I'm not gonna worry about these audio codes because there's an aftermarket sound system in this vehicle. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Now we're gonna put all these parts in. Wheel hub, tie rods, transmission fluid, Brembo rotors, pads, all that. And as you can see, there's the connector in place with the epoxy so that it'll stay in place and won't go anywhere. And that's it. For the Mercedes SLK 55 AMG or 350s, I just want to show you guys, if you're looking to put a bigger battery in here, which is what I wanted to do, just to have a little bit more reserve. This is the biggest battery that I was able to fit. What I had to do was reroute a little bit this drain hose. That drain hose that goes in here. So you disconnect it, and then you find just a regular hose, something that you can connect to that bottom piece so that the water drains out correctly, and then that way you can run a bigger battery if you wanted to. I don't know what group size this is. There's the part number, but we got 800 cold cranking amps, and It sits in there quite nicely. It's very tight, but it is possible.